Despite how tough you are, whoever you are, people say you can't do this, you can't do that, and I have eventually done what I had to do, and just,
taking drugs. Staying out for days on end. Taking drugs.
Yeah. Yeah. Good to have you guys in, man. Thanks for popping in. Getting started in a minute here. Yeehaw. Yeehaw. Let's get it. Just grabbing a quick drink and get into the charts, get into how my trades have been absolutely flopping. But I'll show you guys my losses, tell you guys what I'm thinking. Yeah, let me grab a little drink of water real quick. Let's get started here in 2 minutes.
Staying out for days on end.
Alrighty, let's settle into this stream here. Let's see, turn this down a little bit. All right, that should be okay. Man, oh man, look at Bitcoin dumping here, guys. This is crazy. Seeing some of my favorite people in the chats. Motivation grows here. Good to see you in, Maine. Benito, All Set Analyst, Etamea, Miguel Cox, Chase Hughes, Mr. Bitman. Yeah, Ricky Spanish, hell yeah. Blockchain Cowboy. Thanks for joining me this Sunday night. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Definitely a nice week for me, not in terms of trading, just in general. Had some professional photos taken and some good news that your boy Groper, because of the breakout results this year, getting invited to trips, confidential. I'm gonna keep it brief here, but we're gonna be in the Bahamas in January, so I'm excited to go and talk about trading and represent you guys at this big event for traders. So that's where I'll be in January. So this week was good, but the trading has been a little bit goofy this month. The guy in the chat was right, man. This is a cooked stream, potentially even the gayest stream that I've done in a while, because like just on Twitter earlier today, as soon as I changed my profile picture to a guy in a suit, like I think I know what I'm talking about, I had some bullish idea, the bullish monthly leap that I entered a trade in on a Sunday, you know. Just some shameless weekend trading that didn't play out well for me. I was basically in this trade right here. I had entered right about there with my stop loosely placed below that the 5-day MA, this rising 5-day uptrend that we were seeing. It was looking good for a while. It was looking good, looked like it was holding. I thought that would be a good invalidation. And it was a good invalidation, because getting stopped out there was a lot better than getting stopped out way down here, you know? So at the very least, I can say that at least the 5MA kept me out of trouble by keeping my stop there. But I was aiming for some higher levels, guys. I was aiming for... This honestly wasn't even my main trade for the week. What I was doing is I was kind of being impatient and forcing this weekend move, because the highest likelihood move in my eyes was actually a short from weekly candle resistance. So like I was planning to enter a trade like this, or if that got stopped out, something here, you know, something at these previous weekly candle highs going into this new week. That would have been the most advantageous price levels to short from if you were bearish. This coincides with what would have been a monthly leapfrog here. So if we enable our previous month-to-date VWAP, this will put that November VWAP back on the chart. You can see that we've come into this new month of December now, and in a lot of months we do get that. You guys have seen it on this channel where like the new month comes and boom, it goes straight to that previous monthly VWAP. But man, oh man, that is not the case this month, guys. My little impatient trade, trying to trade on the way to my trade, it just didn't work out for me. So you know, it was bad. What it resulted in is me being overly, you know, this is a demo account, so I'm still earning funding on this challenge here. So it wasn't real funds, and it's a 200K account, so this is like a 5% loss or something, but trying to speed through this challenge, get this challenge over with, trying to take a nice big crack and trade up to that month-to-date VWAP and get this challenge out of the way. Bit me in the ass here, so we're back down. Still overall positive for the challenge, but setback pretty bad. Equity curve screwed. And if this was a funded account, I would not be trading with that size, and I would not be taking this loss. But because it is a challenge, I juice it up a little bit. So in this case, it was a bad idea. So that's pretty much all I got to show I haven't bought any new breakout accounts since like first week of this month because I don't want to spam a bunch of breakout challenges personally until I start seeing results, you know? Like I've had ideas last couple weeks. Some of them have played out. Like in the VIP, I've done some TA updates, and like for the most part, it's going pretty good. Like the market does overall move where we think it's going and stuff, but yeah, man, I just honestly, November hasn't been my environment, guys. It has not been. What's weird is it's still a profitable month for me because that first week was really good. But then it's just been so bad for me personally ever since. So if there's one thing you can learn from me, I guess, that you could take away from the stream, it's that you can have an overall bad month and still end up profitable as long as you're able to protect that run and use risk management. And like for me personally, like I've already made the decision that this month is a profitable month, and so like nothing I'm doing is challenging that fact or putting that fact at stake, if that makes sense. So having that kind of mindset is getting me through this difficult time. It's a difficult time for my trading personally, but that doesn't mean that I still don't have good things to go over with you guys in the charts, valuable things I'm seeing. I want to see what you guys are seeing. Crypto guy OTI in the chat, thanks for coming in, brethren. So man, when you lose trades, you kind of got to take a step back, and so we got to take a step back here. What is going on here, man? What is going on here? Is this really the moment where the bears have grabbed the grease? Is that what's going on here, guys? Because in previous streams, you know, I was observing monthly Heiken Ashi strength. Even, you know, all last month, there was still kind of a chance that we like push back up into like kind of like a less bearish candle closure because of the overall green/white uptrendedness of this monthly Heiken Ashi trend. You know, it's like we're not clearly in a bearish super momentum phase. We're kind of something more like here, right? Here or here, whatever. We're kind of in that phase where the monthly Heiken Ashi is still dying. So you expect it to kind of buck like a horse, and you expect there at least to be some kind of moves to the upside. But, you know, this is brutal. What we're seeing here is a pretty convincing flip last month. Now that last month's candle has officially closed, it definitely is indicating, even though this smooth Heiken Ashi candle is still white, indicating a positive closure, it's getting real skinny. This is the skinniest smooth Heiken Ashi candle we've seen since September of 2023. So, you know, usually this is a momentum pivot time. Back here, that was bullish. You know, we came down into it and we had a big turn there, but I'm not so sure about this being bullish right here. We definitely sliced down in there, and this definitely seems like it could really be a major turn in the markets. And we look at Market Cipher, and in the curriculum that like we designed for you guys with Market Cipher, we even teach that when you lose the 60 line or the negative 60 line on Market Cipher, be on, especially on this monthly chart, but any high time frame level there, when you lose this level, this moment right here is catastrophic for the charts. So you know, the fact that we're not getting clean mean reversions and My typical strategy kind of relies on fading the highs and lows, but here we are staring down the barrel of a gun, potentially with a massive downtrend that could, I'm not saying it's a 100% chance, but like there isn't even that much Bitcoin data to go off of. But historically, when a monthly blue wave loses the 60 line, you're pretty much cooked, guys. So like history would have to change. Let me mark that 60 level here. So right now we're looking at BLX lifetime Bitcoin. Looks like on this chart, the data hasn't updated. Is this data? Where does this data from? August? Oh my gosh, man. This data still needs to update. But as you guys know, the blue wave on live charts is already down here at like 50 something. So we've already had this moment right here in the chart. So we'll mark those moments. And I'm being generous, you know, after it's well confirmed, like a full monthly candles closed under that 60 line, you know, what do you usually expect? And typically what you see is let's see here. Put that okay, we're in December, okay? Yeah, I mean, typically what this indicates is the beginning of a major lull in the markets. Let's measure the not only the time but the percentage from this point. We're just dealing with approximations here. I'm not being super exact here. But the first time we got this 67% dump over 396 days. Second time it happened, got about a 60% dump over 184 days. And Mega Eclipse in the chat said they discontinued this chart, man. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy that they would do that. Is there a better lifetime data set that we can go off of, man? What's the alternative to BLX if we don't have this chart anymore? But look, it happened again here. 67%. 67. It's gonna... Oh, man. Are we about to have a dreaded 6-7% retracement, guys? So where are we at now? We're at like 80,000 or something. We're in the 80,000. So if we came down like 67%, oh my gosh, that puts us down at like 30,000. So, I mean, it's crazy what we're facing here. I almost don't believe it. Yeah, the monthly oscillator just is a very bearish context. I'm not saying that a lot can't happen in a month. A lot can happen in a month. Like a monthly candle can look bad when it opens. Like you don't want to be looking at we're done with that chart, man. That date is retarded. A lot can happen in a month. It's like you want to look at the data that's already printed, potentially play off of these levels that are already closed and confirmed, right? You don't really want to try to guess what the current candle is going to do. So a lot can happen in a month, but even still, this thing is well on its way. I mean, we lost that 60 level already, and it almost seems like we're about to get like maybe like this candle or something. And typically what we saw is like you go sideways for like months. I'm talking like a whole quarter of just lollygagging, making it look like there is a chance but ultimately it just kind of collapses under the weight of itself, and you get that dreaded 67% correction. So crazy bearish context. When we go into the weekly, I thought that it was possible that this low that we got could have generated a weekly green dot here. Still not too late on that. We want to look what's going on here with this weekly wave, but since we're comparing this area in the chart to areas back here, you can see that it is the wave. This wave is capable of staying down here for a little bit. It's tricky because you have this larger macro bearish trend confirmed. Then when you get these signs of retracement and slowing or whatever, it's tempting to think that that is the reversal. But what we're seeing week by week and slowly learning is that the rug is getting pulled out from under the bulls at increasingly more aggressive levels. Like, to me, it's a little bit crazy that right now, like, I'm pulling open some high time frame candle horizontals here. So the brighter orange line, this one, that was just formed like tonight. That's this wick right here. But this wick was a top because we were hitting a previous weekly candle horizontal level here. So it was like from back here in the chart, we came back into this region, and I guess that was the top. Like, why was the top happening on a Friday? And so it's like, even if you are bearish, if you're bearish, you're hoping for these prices or something close to these prices to get hit before going bearish. Because if you're a leverage trader, in my opinion, like, you kind of gotta gun for that weekly high low. You know, if you want to leverage trade back down or back to the VWAP or whatever. For instance, you know, this previous week to date VWAP, that's a typical target for us going into a new week. Why didn't I short from here to here? Why didn't I catch this move? Isn't my strategy to catch these moves back to last week's VWAP? The problem is, like, I was expecting a better entry. I was being a little greedy. I did believe in this eventually happening, but I also believed in this monthly leap up here because we're coming into a new month. The 5-day trend was up. Going against the 5-day trend usually gets you wrecked, and so for it to just get annihilated like this is pretty crazy. For an advantageous leverage short price to not get triggered shows a lot of eagerness to go down lower. Like, it's a little bit abnormal, you know? So where it's at now, definitely not just going to be like stink bid longing it from this point, nor, you know, what sucks is that this trade was way too big. And so I do have daily drawdown left. I have like $3,000 or $4,000 that I could potentially lose on top of this, but I don't really want to keep trading more in the same day. This is already too big a trade for me personally. But if you really wanted to long, maybe there's a little bit of a long scalp off of the weekly low. You could scalp trade back up to the weekly VWAP or previous weekly VWAP. So, like, you know, something like this could potentially be tempting for a scalp. Since you are dumping into a rising 5MA, usually you want to fade that. You know, usually, you know, you get that bearish retest of that 5MA before you go down lower. Yeah, but then there you are longing in a downtrend again. You know? So it's a little bit stinky. If this failed, you could try the weekly low before that, but I feel like it would probably not hold if it went all the way down there. There's maybe one long right here at basically 85k. If 85k doesn't hold, then yeah, man, there's not really much left for me, man. Catching up on the chats here, 6-7. And then people were saying the Bitstamp chart. I'll have to use that Bitstamp chart. Let's look at it real quick. Let's see. Oh, this is good. I like this. I really like this Bitstamp chart. This shows, man, there's a wave that's like not even on the BLX chart. Look at this wave right here. Look at that overall lifetime divergence, kind of supporting that diminishing returns narrative. Man, oh man. I wonder what can we glean from some anchored VWAPs pooled here. So an anchored VWAP, I would say that if the monthly Heiken-Ashi trend is dying, then the uptrend itself is being called into question, which means that the integrity of this VWAP from the low potentially could be being called into question on a macro scale. Since this VWAP represents the uptrend, the bull run itself. So, man, that's down at 60k, man. All the way down at 60k. God damn. I might just be going down, despite a lot of my early warnings earlier in the year. I might be going down as like being too bullish during one of the most obviously bearish little windows we've had in a while. Just because I've been a little too stubborn about staying within my rigid strategy in my singular environment that I do really well in. I hope that's not the case, but I'm prepared for it to be. Like my capital is prepared for that to be the case. Maybe I just got to start shorting and just stop thinking so hard about it. It's like that retard short mode environment that trains people to be bad traders because it's just going in one direction, and it makes you think that trading is just that easy all the time. Usually it's not, man. Like usually if you don't wait for the weekly high to get taken, then you get squeezed in your shorts, you know? Many lessons that I've learned over a lot of executions getting clowned on right now. My own colleagues on Twitter coming in. My gosh, look. Oh, man. Shout out to Cassius QV, killing it. He's just been going with the market cipher waves, man, just shorting shitcoins. I think that might be the play. Just pick some giga shitcoins and just short when you see red dots on market cipher. Yes, sirree. It's actually a great time if you... It actually could be a great time if you just are brainless and just want to trust that monthly bias and just freaking short, man. Because, man, look at this amazing daily wave here. A two-headed, inverse, lopsided butt cheek. What's that pattern called? What's the Jason Casper wave pattern called? We get this amazing pattern, and what does it lead to? A little bit of a move up before we just start dumping down again. Red dot coming in before we even hit the zero line. This is nasty, man. And some of these daily time frames are only adding to the confusion here. You've got a 3 and 4 and 5 day kind of pinching around here. Catching up on the chats because maybe some of you guys know what's going on. Cameron's talking about the 67% retracement. That's some crypto ass shit right there. Yeah, man. Reminds me of Bitcoin topping at 69K. Jason Meyer in the chat saying, "What's up? Happy Thanksgiving, man." I forgot to say happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I hope you had a good one. There is a code. There is a code going through Cyber Monday. I believe it's still active. If you want to get into my VIP and Market Cipher, 2 different Discords, use code GOBBLE 65% off. That's our Black Friday deal that we got going on right now. There you go. Will Kong said, "Remember last month we're in a 5-day MA downtrend and pump from nowhere, then instant pullback." Ah, yes. Will is bringing up a good point about how to deal with these moments around the 5-day MA that catch us by surprise. Typically, in most cases, when you have a strong trend that gets wiped out like this, you do kind of want to fade this move because it's going to take time for this 5 MA slope to turn down. And in most cases, like 65% of cases, you get this kind of move. The retest bearishly, then potentially more as that 5 MA gets pulled down. So I personally don't think this is bottom yet. There's some better supports down here. Weekly low. That could potentially be advantageous there. But I'd be probably fully out of that scalp at the previous week to date at the most. So I wouldn't put much weight on that trade. Definitely not a hero trade. Mr. Baru in the chat said 78K or 74 will be low. 85K is a no-go zone. Neither up or down, maybe more down. Yeah, 85K, I mean, this is a very strong high time frame support currently. So you wouldn't want to get too bearish until this high time frame support was flipped to resistance. So this isn't the type of red wickage that you can just FOMO into, in my opinion. It's already come down quite a ways. You would kind of hope for a bounce into at least this region before you short here. If not, up at that 5 MA. Yeah, good observation around that 5 MA, man. Cameron said I might do a belly dive if I see 60K. Yeah, man, that 60K number is crazy. The whole Trump pump getting devoured. Say it ain't so. Baru said, Michael Saylor said they're going to sell if the MNAV goes below 1. It's at 1.16. Oh my gosh, man. Now imagine if he had balls like Warren Buffett and had the balls to be a top instead of panic selling the dump and doubling down at the top. My gosh, Michael Saylor's the worst trader ever, bro. Yeah, man. Michael Saylor is, if he doesn't get shit canned, it is kind of sad that something like what he's doing is allowed to exist, because the decisions he's making shouldn't be rewarded in a healthy system. Down May said, our greatest trades are ahead of us. Large time frames are giving us direction. It's tough to trust and believe it. I agree, man. The best times are ahead. And even if that's not the case, at least we're not just a bunch of bitter holders who are afraid to take a chance. At least we don't have to accept a year of sadness and pain. We can trade both directions. Although for me personally, I haven't been doing the best job of representing that fact. Steve said, new lifetime subscriber here learning, man. It's good to have you in, man. You know, times like this are important to have as a trader. A lot of you guys may be doing really great right now. There's people killing it on the leaderboards and all that stuff. The thing is, I can't compare myself to anybody. If I'm going to compare myself to anybody, it's going to be my brother Crypto Face. But times like this, eras like this in your trading do come. You may have a multi-week or even a multi-month cold streak. What are you going to do about it? You know, as a person who comes in front of the screen to talk about the markets every Sunday, win or lose, I have to come out and process what I'm going through. Whereas you guys, you have the ability to hide away or go learn a new skill or do a new thing or whatever. But if you have that mindset of like, no matter what comes at me, I have to process it, learn from it, it makes you better, man. And I can proudly say that my losses, even though this was a big ass loss, it was only on demo challenge funding. I'm not funded on this account yet, so you know, and there was no live capital that was lost on this idea. So that trading like this helps me protect the decent profit that I did make this month. So I guess that's the main lesson of the stream, man, is even though I got shit on here by this 5-day trend that was sloping up, all of a sudden getting invalidated, it doesn't matter. It's not the enemy. That's not the end of, that doesn't invalidate my profitable month. And there's a lot of skill that goes into ensuring that your personal trading narrative continues moving forward. I very easily could have come on the stream and said, oh, I lost all the gains I made this month. Now it's a red month. Arc Signal in the chat. Good to have you in, man. He said the 1 hour has an inwardly curved VWAP oscillator. Going lower, next spider line at 80K. All right, let's take a look here. 1 hour chart is a pretty good time frame. I do see that yellow oscillator inwardly curved here. RSI's completely tanked. I definitely think that this has a high likelihood of coming down and taking this weekly low, especially after this crazy front run short. Just as soon as the new daily candle, the new weekly candle started, this thing just started crashing, man. Didn't even take any liquidity up here at those previous weekly highs, 2 previous weekly highs up here. So, you know, when you have a Jewish fake out like that, it makes you think the weekly low is called into question. So yeah, man, I think this, if you're in a short, you're probably going to at least come down to here. But this 85K level is a strong high time frame support, you know. You might bounce up a little bit, hit a little long scalp, and then come down lower maybe. Borrow in the chat mentioned the Trader Geo interview, man. Yeah, that was a good one. I got a link to that on my Twitter here. Let's see. If you go to my @FloppingGroper Twitter, where is it at? Oh, here we go. Let me put this in the chat. All right, if you guys missed it, I showed up on Trader Geo's Nexus podcast with a couple of his henchmen that he's got, and I went over my whole how I got into trading, the strategy, how I've been catching the big quarterly moves and establishing my high time frame biases throughout this year, throughout the last 2 years. And overall, it's a really valuable call that I had. It's almost 2 hours long. So if you are someone who like goes on bike rides or goes for hikes or something, definitely just turn this on, and it's a really good, valuable 2-hour discussion between some pretty grizzled traders. I'd say there's probably like 50 years of trading experience in this conversation here. So go ahead and subscribe to the Nexus. Enter the Nexus YouTube and watch that video there. And I said the F word a couple times. Sorry I was swearing so much, but I didn't even know they were recording until like 10 minutes in. I was talking about 6-7 coin that wasn't supposed to be in the interview. Mega Eclipse says he thinks this is a bear trap. The gaps got closed fully. Okay, let's take a look at the CME gap for you guys. Crypto New said a lot of life lessons. Yeah, man, I talk a lot in metaphors. It's a weakness and a strength of mine. And I'm still learning how to get more concrete, more matter-of-fact, step-by-step type advice. But metaphors and like poetry, that is my strong suit. But yeah, man, look at this. Let's see, where's the CME gap? I mean, was that your CME gap right there? There is no CME gap. Yeah, I mean, it looks like all the gaps are closed there, so there's nothing that needs to be resolved on that front. Yup. Yeah, there's that gap right there. The thing got filled. So, interesting, man. Interesting. Typically, in a typical month, guys, when a new month comes, you actually get the opposite move. You actually get that little kaputs to the upside, and you hit this previous monthly VWAP, and then you can go from there. But this is just very bearish, a very bearish environment. Despite some of these middle time frames trying to give you a little bit of hope, it's like, nah, man, if you really zoom out and you look what's going on, you know, we got even a 2-month red dot. Let's go on that Bitstamp chart again. So we've got a 2-month, a 3-month red dot here. So this is ugly, folks. If we go one more month, then this red dot will confirm on the new year. Oh, you guys are, man, I appreciate all the nice comments you guys said on that interview, man. It was definitely informal. I gotta fix my language, man, and get more professional. But hey, man, this is the Market Cypher community. We actually don't take ourselves that seriously, if you guys haven't noticed. This guy in the chat, B Phaetom says this dump was time-based algos firing all at once because the new day, new week, new month. Definitely, man. You know, I was slightly onto this move in some fashion because, just as you said, this is a very strong time confluence. See how on... I'm surprised I didn't mention this on this stream yet, so thanks for reminding me. But I've been trained when I see this double confluence. See how it's Monday and it's December 1st? This is true confluence. This is time frame confluence. This is like telling you that a powerful move is very possible on this date, because imagine two schools of algorithms, monthly algorithms and weekly algorithms. On this day, they both get enemaed, you know? So whatever idea I'm having on a day like this, I usually put a little more emphasis on, which is partially why this trade was so bad. You know, I was really kind of swinging for the fences on this Klein funding challenge just to pass it and get it out of the way, because we had a great time confluence, we had an uptrend, we had a monthly leap. You know what I'm saying, man? So unfortunately, I got completely like rinsed on that by kind of just not... My priorities weren't right, I guess. But you're totally right, man. I totally agree with you that time confluences lead to powerful moves, and look what we see, a very powerful move. It just was not in the way that I wanted. Big time, man. Hedge reset, that's a good way to put it. Yes, sir, man. Man, you guys are being too nice, man. You guys are being too nice in the chats. I'm a trader, man. I can take the criticism. Look at this weekly heat map on Bitcoin, man. We could come all the way down here, like I said, down to that 85 level. And it's just more heat down there, so... A lot of heat all the way down here, actually. Although I don't, you know, these heat maps are not... I don't follow them religiously, but it is something I look at. It can be deceiving, because look at all this heat to the upside. You know, these are all reasons to support that monthly leapfrog idea to the upside, you know? So sometimes these heat maps can lead you astray. Yeah. That's about all I could say on the Bitcoin analysis, guys. We went over the levels, so I don't want to dwell on that too much longer, but that does spell pretty nasty situation for the altcoins here. Going through some of my favorite altcoins. What did this look like? Someone in the chat said, turn the chart off, it looks ugly. You're so right, man. You know, Litecoin was kind of... Man, oh man, look at that bearish kind of environment that Litecoin was in. Already sloping down a little bit the last 2 days. Same with XRP, man. I don't know why wasn't I looking at altcoins? Because a lot of these altcoins, a downtrend was already beginning. Not as much on Fartcoin here, this one. Although, oh my gosh, look at this Fartcoin monthly leap. See how we dumped... So Fartcoin's previous monthly VWAP was lower. So here we see Fartcoin leading. Getting the resolutions around its VWAPs in the chart that you would expect. A return to the November VWAP on December 1st. Simply because its November VWAP was below. But this is a reason why I like trading Fartcoin. For some reason, I faded it this week. because I was bullish on Bitcoin. So I was thinking that I should be looking for longs. I should have just done the opposite of what I was thinking. But Farcoin had this really nice monthly leap here. Look at this major disappointment on Sui here. Just straight lower highs, not taking any liquidity before the big dump. Probably do get a little bit of a bounce like this on Sui, like that. There's some support down here that it's headed towards. Oh my gosh, Solana. Yeah, so Solana actually had a kind of scary moment yesterday when it came up and it topped this 5MA as resistance kind of, and then rejected there, and the environment of that 5MA went kind of sideways, man. Man, it's one of those weeks where I really wish I was looking at the altcoins, because this is a week where the altcoins were kind of cluing you in that Bitcoin was not going up. At least some of these altcoins. Yeah, man, it's rough. Someone in the chat was asking, is Sol wrecked? So let's take a look, man. Let's look on like the big time frame. Well, we're down here at the bottom of the range, man. It's obviously got a little bit more ways to go, man, to the downside. It does have some, it just breached, oh my gosh, it just breached some major high time frame support. Is there any sign of strength that this could reclaim? You know, sometimes when you get, when you tag a high time frame support like this, if you can reclaim over it and you're starting to see like 10-minute Heiken Ashi coming back to life, you go on the 10-minute and like you'll see potentially like a big green candle with no bottom wick. You could potentially take a long as high up as back up to the previous week today VWAP here. But if this level fails, then you really got nothing. You got nothing, man. You'd have to see strength to take that, first of all. And if that fails, you've got nothing until down here at 120. In which case, the timing may be off. Right now, the timing is ripe for reactions around high time frame SR. We're at the turn of that new week. So it is potentially a time to maybe look for some trades back to the previous week to date if the chart is tagging a big enough high time frame SR. You know, you may not win the trade, but I could see why you would take a little long scalp back up around these levels if you started seeing strong green 10-minute Heiken Ashi and then a reclaim over that prior weekly support there. Chocolate Watermelon said, how far could the NASDAQ fall? You know, NASDAQ in proper NASDAQ fashion is looking still strong for now. It's actually still not at a place where I would actually short. You know, the reason why I like cryptos is because they're just liquidity extraction machines. You can fade highs and lows and every quarter is a new trend, whereas the traditional markets, I mean, this is a big, overall, it's a big, massive uptrend. So there's times to trade it and times not to. I would say, yeah, it could dump. You know, it could dump as low as all the way down here, down to your 5-day SMA. These percentages are so small. It's so funny, man. I'm so used to like bigger crypto percentages. But shit, man, I would not take any shorts on it. I would wait for it to plunge into this rising 5MA, and I would probably assume that it snags on there, and you could maybe catch a long to the upside and just keep a bullish bias on this thing, because overall the trad markets are pretty bullish. But if it did dump, that's fine. It's just, when it comes to shorting, you think about it, you could short all these shit coins to oblivion. Why take a short on NQ? Yeah, when I look at this, man, like, it's in a rising 5-day uptrend. So even though it could potentially be looking a little divergent here, you're still in that uptrend. So it's kind of innocent until proven guilty over a lot of important VWAPs for now. So it's actually not really at a place where you're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to short it, bro. Yeah, we're just going to short it. Taking a look at gold real quick. Gold, similar to NQ in this 5-day uptrend. So, you know, it is tagging a massive previous monthly high here. This red line here. This is a previous monthly high low. So this is big resistance. It probably is going to come down, but not in a fashion that would make me want to short it, because it is, just like NQ, a strong asset that I would hope for a plunge into this rising 5MA, maybe for a long. I don't know, I'd have to see what's going on down there, but yeah, man, it definitely is hitting some really high time frame resistance. Like if we go into the monthly chart, oh, let's check standard candles. That was Heiken Ashi. Okay, that was Heiken Ashi. On standard candles, we're still hitting. Okay, we're still hitting an important resistance here. What is that, man? I guess it's a previous monthly candle high. Crazy, man. But yeah, man, it's a very bullish asset. So it's like, what if it just pumps up to the all-time highs, and you would feel pretty dumb, right? Because it's in an uptrend. Yeah, man. You know, I don't really have any stock options plays right now. My last big move on my E-Trade account was Amazon, and I got out up here, and I'm glad I did. I need to take a comprehensive look at these options going into the new year. I should have some options plays around the new year, but right now I'm a little cold on the stonks right now, I'm not gonna lie. And I haven't really taken a look at commodities. But it's also the timing is just not the best for me and my channel in regards to the clarity of everything I'm calling. It's around the new quarter that I feel the most confident. So like October was like my best month of the year, but also leading into April was like another great month for me. And my predictions around the last new year were amazing, calling for like a Bitcoin correction at like the start of this year. So the next time I'm super confident in everything I'm seeing is actually going to be here around the start of January, around when I'm in the Bahamas And usually when I go on trips, for some reason, man, the charts start doing crazy things. Like in 2024, I went to Miami in March, and that was when we hit all-time highs for that, for a couple quarters. So that was the all-time high. And then like the top in October was when I was in New Jersey sponsoring Mike. So I'm a little bit excited. I'm getting excited for this Bahamas trip. This is around my birthday too. So I'll be in the Bahamas on my birthday. And hopefully there's some sick ass moves going on all over the place. But yeah, guys, just bear with me for one more month of BS. And really this month is not an important month. It shouldn't be a month that makes or breaks you. You should already be established for the year as to how you did this year. You shouldn't be chasing or trying to sprint to the finish. You might trip and give back gains or make the hole you've dug for yourself even deeper. The year's pretty much over, man. So what you really should do is do your best to prep for next year's trades. See if you can start working on getting some funding and put that funding off to the side. Acquire capital, work on your health, and get the jump on the new year so that you guys can hit the shit with me for a whole nother year, man. I don't want to be left alone doing this stuff, man. I need you guys. But that's pretty much it for me, guys. So I hope you enjoyed, man. I wish I had like better personal results to show you guys, but I hope this information was useful. So if you liked it, go ahead and smash the like. Hit the subscribe button. And if you guys have any questions, I'm there for you in the VIP. You could always shoot me an email or shoot me a DM. And God bless you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one.